On behalf of the Carrie and Fenn Foundation, we welcome you to our seniors program. My name is Reverend Michelin Walton, and I am your host for the Paul Culver and Sparky Johnson Seniors Program. This program is brought to you by the Carrie and Fenn Foundation in partnership with Ajax Legion, Parkland Ajax, Grandad Cares, and PINDAB Limited. Paul Culver, my dad, and Sparky Johnson, my dear friend, we're advocates for community and selfless service, and it is an honor to represent the memory of both of them as we take part in this program. So the program, we had our first one last week, which was fun. The program takes place every Thursday from 1 to 2:30 during the month of May, and we have a broad range of topics. All 4 meetings will be available online, and the last 2 will be in person, and we will talk more about that, and that'll be on your emails. How you doing there, Terry? I hope you are ready to take part in this month's journey. During your registration, you have committed to participate according to your registration, and we hope that you invite your friends to join us. We look forward to spending time with you during this program. So today we have 2 speakers. We have Andrew, who will be talking about wills and estates, and Shri, who will be doing yoga with compassion and mindfulness. We have 30 minutes for the presenters to share their information. If you have any questions, you can put your questions on the chat box, and we'll move forward from there. Our speakers will take any questions within their allotted time. Our speakers are professionals within their respective fields. We are not medical professionals, and we are not doctors, and we do not give medical advice. Please always consult a medical professional for individual medical care. We take no responsibility or liability. Our waiver, which you agreed to during the process, applies. So let's get started. I think we're going to start today with you, Andrew,
Yes.
talking a little bit on wills and estates. So take it away.
All right. Thank you, Reverend Michelin. It's a pleasure to be here again. And really, I just want to highlight the importance of having a will, and that statistics tell us that less than half of Canadians have a will. And passing away without a will, having something written down, is an absolute nightmare for the people that you leave behind. And I might go beyond that and say not just not having a will, but not having some power of attorney documents. So what's the difference? A will takes care of your affairs from the time you die onwards, gives away things, helps wind up your affairs, cancel things, and give away whatever it is you have to those you want it to go to. A power of attorney document is if you are still alive, but your brain isn't working properly. You've had a medical issue, you have something like Alzheimer's or dementia, you've had an accident, you banged your head, something's not working right. And again, that's something you need to plan in advance for, because if you don't have one and that kind of an event happens to you, it's too late. We can't create one. So dire kind of consequences not having those documents. So a power of attorney is if you've got bank accounts, if you've got real estate, if you've got something like that, and you need somebody to step in and take over your affairs. They're going to be the ones going to the bank. They're going to be the ones dealing with your subscriptions, many papers you get or things like that. They're the ones going to be dealing with the revenue to make sure that things are in proper place. If you don't have those documents, a power of attorney document, then you are going to find the public guardian and trustee for the province taking over your affairs. Doesn't matter that you have loved ones around you. Doesn't matter that you would want somebody else in your family managing your affairs. You're going to get the government. You're going to get the public guardian. The public guardian doesn't want the job. They don't want to do it. They want you to choose a substitute person if you can't do it. So they want you to complete forms either with a lawyer or with a kit that you can get often at the public library, or you can get on the computer, where you name somebody to go in and be your alternate substitute decision maker. And just the key to it is that you've got to do it when you can. You don't wait till too late. And so what that does is allows them, that person you choose, to go into the bank with the document. It's got to be signed properly. You got to print it off. There's no online version of this. You have to print it, and it has to be signed in the presence of 2 witnesses. And what you do is you go in, then you can go into the bank, or you can do whatever, and you're now the substitute person in charge. So that's the kind of key to having it. There's another one called a power of attorney for personal care. It allows the person you choose to make your healthcare decisions, in particular, hospital decisions, treatment decisions, end of life decisions. It also allows them to choose perhaps where you're going to live. So if you're going to be going into a retirement home or a long-term care facility, they're going to be the ones making that decision if you are not able to make it. Again, the key is to do this while you can, because if you wait too long, then you can't do it. The consequence isn't quite so bad for the healthcare one if you don't have one. If you don't have one, it's going to be your next nearest relative. So that next nearest relative might be, it could be a spouse, it could be children, but it's a kind of a hierarchy which is rigid. If you do attorney, you can choose whoever it is you want to, whoever it is you want to do it, they're the ones. So if you have a child, for example, actually, if you have more than one child and one's really good at health decisions and one's not, instead of letting them both do it, which is what you would be otherwise, you can choose the right person, play to their strengths. And in particular, if you're worried that a person might not follow your instructions, if you let them be it, they might not do what you wanted in the hospital, then you can make sure you choose somebody else who will follow your instructions. So think it through, have these kind of documents in place. A power of attorney for your money, a power of attorney for your healthcare decisions. Then there are wills. And wills are from the time you die onwards. It's so important to have even the most basic will, because that will appoint an executor. The executor is the person who's going to be in charge of your affairs once you've passed away. Give you an example. What happens if you don't have a will? Let's just say you have a cell phone. You have a phone with Rogers or with Bell or with TELUS. You passed away and one of your relatives calls up Rogers and says, I need to cancel the telephone plan. And Rogers is going to say, are you the executor of the estate? No, I'm the daughter, but there is no will, but I'm the one in charge. And they'll say, well, do you have a will that names you? No. And they'll say, sorry, we can't deal with you. You have no authority to deal with these affairs. So that's why it's so important, even for simple things like canceling a telephone, canceling a newspaper subscription. But there's even more complicated things you'll need an executor for. In particular, dealing with the Canada Revenue Agency. We need to get your taxes finalized. We need to figure out what it is that you have owing to the government or getting a refund from the government. You need that. You can't even access the bank account that you have in your name because there's no executor. If there is one, you can go into the bank and they can help you and we can get things going the right way. So if you die without a will, all those things are going to be solved only by coming to a lawyer and getting somebody appointed by the court to be the executor. And there's a cost for that. And there is a time delay. It's going to take me a number of weeks, if not months, to get somebody appointed to be the executor of your estate. Once you figure that out, though, if you've done a will and you've named an executor, you then need to figure out who's going to get what. The good news in the province of Ontario is that you can choose pretty much anybody to get what you have to give away. You don't have to give anything to anybody if you don't want to, except you have to give things to people that are dependent upon you. So if you have a spouse, they got to get a portion of your estate. If you have adult children who are not capable, who are living at home with you, you've got to provide for them. But aside from that, you're a free agent. You can do whatever you want with your money. There are some provinces, British Columbia, Nova Scotia, for example, that make you give things to your kids, even if they're not talking to you. But in Ontario, we're good. You can give away whatever it is you want to whoever it is you choose to give away things to. You don't have to be equal. You might have reasons for being unequal, but you can do that. You can also give things away to specific people. So you might say, I want to give my grandkids some money. I want to leave them something as a remembrance for me or of me. So you could give every grandchild $5,000, $10,000. It's kind of a nice remembrance. You can also give away things that are specifics, like jewelry. I want to give my rings to my oldest daughter, to my oldest grandchild. Those are the kind of creative things that you can do in a will. One of the advantages of doing a will with a lawyer, though, is that you get to do some of the what if questions. So yes, you can go, excuse me, and buy a kit online. And there are a number of things online that will allow you to create a will at a pretty reasonable cost. And there are, if you do them right, if you follow the instructions and you get them signed correctly, they're fine. They're valid. There's nothing wrong with them. Again, the key is they have to be printed off and you have to sign them in the presence of two witnesses. You don't get the option of doing things electronically. You don't get the option of signing digitally with something called DocuSign. Pretty much anyone can be a witness as long as they are over the age of 18. They cannot be somebody who is a beneficiary in the will or married to a beneficiary in the will. So if you're getting something in the will, you shouldn't be signing it as a witness. You want to avoid that because that actually in law disqualifies you from inheriting. There is no magic to the witnesses being a lawyer or a notary. It can be, and quite often is, your two next door neighbors or your two friends. The only thing that's important is that when the people come to sign your will as your witnesses, the two of them need to both be in the room at the same time. They both need to see you sign the will, and then at the same time, they have to put their names on the will. So you can't have neighbor one come in and see you sign, and then neighbor two come in later and say, oh yeah, I know that's your signature, and sign. That's not valid. Both people have to be in the room at the same time. They have to see you sign. But aside from that, there are no rules. They can't be beneficiaries or spouses. They can't be your spouse or children. But pretty much anyone else can do it. So you're good to go with that. So you have a lot of flexibility. The what if question, sorry, I was getting to that, but the lawyer can do the what ifs. And I'll give you an example of a what if question. So let's just say in my example, you've got 3 children and you're going to divide the estate up equally between your 3 kids. That's great. Wonderful way to go. But what if one of your 3 children unexpectedly passed away before you? They had an accident, they had an illness. And what if they have children themselves? What happens to their 1/3 share of the estate? Does their 1/3 share go down the bloodline to their kids, your grandkids? Or does their 1/3 share go sideways simply to the surviving 2 children? There's no right or wrong answer. You, as the person drafting the will, get the choice of what it's going to be. Is it down the bloodline? Is it just sideways to those that are alive? Another question that lawyers can often help you with is, what if those people, if it does go down the bloodline, it's going to your grandkids, for example, what if they're young? The law says that children, grandchildren cannot inherit or receive their money until their 18th birthday. Lots of grandparents think that's too young. I don't want my grandson, my granddaughter getting a chunk of money at age 18. The thinking is this, that you want them to go off to post-secondary education probably, and the more money they get at 18, the less incentive they have to go off to university or college. So what you can do if you go to a lawyer and get this done right is say, I want to hold on to the money for my grandchild to a slightly older age. I want them not to get it all until they're 25 years old. That's just an example. There's no magic to 25, although lots of my clients like that. And the way that works is the person you've chosen to be the executor is going to hold on to the money. He or she can use it for your grandchild for things that are important, for their university or college tuition, for healthcare costs that aren't covered by OHIP, for living expenses. So if the grandchild went to the executor and said, I'm off to university, here's my bill for room, board, tuition, books, stuff like that, the executor can say, that's great. That's exactly what grandma or grandpa would have wanted. And they'll write a check directly to the university. But then if the grandchild says, thank you so much, that's wonderful, but now I've got to get from here to there, and I got to get there in a bit of style. So I went down to that car dealership at 401 in Salem Road, and I got myself a quote on a nice sports car, and it's $100,000. Here's the bill. The executor can say, how about you keep going down the highway to the train station in Oshawa or the bus station in Oshawa and take a bus to wherever you're going. Save money, be frugal. So in other words, the executor is the sober second thought, managing the money for the impulsive teenager who wants to spend it all. Those are all the kind of things you can do with a lawyer drafted will. So where are we at? If you want to have a basic thing, by all means, go online or go to Staples, get a kit, buy it online. They are legal. They are effective. The key is that they'll at least have an executor named and some basics giving things away. And there's no problem with that at all. If you want to do things that are a bit more elaborate, the what if questions that I was talking about, then book an appointment with a lawyer. And the lawyer will ask you those kind of questions and help you solve those kind of problems, those kind of issues. Now, I had a couple of questions already here in the chat. Let me just see this. One of the questions was, what happens if you have property out of the country? Well, typically a will done in Ontario is going to be valid worldwide. You don't necessarily have to do a will in a different country, but you may need to take that will here in Ontario and use the process in that country to get it approved. We call that probate here in Ontario. Pretty much around the world, it's called probate or something very similar to that. And you might need to find somebody in that country who will step up and be appointed by the court in that country to act as the executor. So it's not an impossibility. The law pretty much worldwide is the home country you're in. The will can govern the day. You don't necessarily have to do a will in that country. Now you can say, I'm doing a will in Ontario for all my assets except my assets in Italy or India or Jamaica, those kind of things, or the United States. And then you go to that country and do a will that they like there specifically for the assets in that country. You kind of have two wills. You don't have to do that. That's kind of more elaborate planning, but you can do that. So I see a question here about Costa Rica. I can't give you advice about Costa Rica law, but for the most part, the general rule is a will in Ontario can be used in a country like Costa Rica. There's a question here about assets being taxable. The good news is that there is no inheritance tax in the province of Ontario or the country of Canada. What you receive when you receive it is tax-free. Now, that doesn't mean that some tax isn't going to be paid. It may be paid, though, by the estate before it goes out to the beneficiary. So things that are taxable in particular are RRSPs and RRIFs, RSPs and RIFs, because you haven't paid any income tax on those. So when you die, before the money gets to your beneficiaries, the income tax on those assets are going to have to be paid. It's paid by the estate before things go out to the beneficiary. When a beneficiary receives money, It's going straight into their bank account. They don't have to worry about the CRA. They don't have to tell the CRA anything about it. It's straight, not taxable. Your home, for example, as a principal residence, if you own your home, the beauty of a home is that it is typically growth is tax-free. It's called a principal residence, a beautiful investment to have, no tax on it at all. The only big thing that you got to be worried about are registered assets, RSPs and RIFs. If you have some investments in the bank and they've gone up in value, well, that's great news for you that they went up in value. There might be a little bit of income tax on it, but that's really the only other thing that you have to worry about. So, all right, I think I've said everything I need to say or can say. I don't know if there's any other asks or questions there.
If anybody has any other questions, they can put it in the chat for Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. There's a few things there that I didn't know.
I think I've answered the ones that are there. I'm more than happy to answer anyone else's questions. Oh, Carrie-Ann's going to come on and grill me with a bunch of questions.
Wow, nice to see you
lovely
guys.
Carrie-Ann Fenn makes an appearance here. Does anybody else have any more questions?
I can't let Andrew appear and I say hello. So it was a pleasure seeing you.
Carrie-Ann, my friend, it's good to see you as well.
Yeah, thank you for your time. I have a question for you because
sure.
I've been doing a lot of work lately helping the homeless community, and a family just came into Canada from Iceland, and the person actually passed away. But in terms of someone who is in Canada, and I'm assuming that he does not have a will, in terms of being able to take care of what's needed and they don't have a will, is that just allowed, or you think they will face barriers in terms of what they need to do to finalize everything?
They were resident here in Canada, if I understand your example, Carrie-Ann, right? They're resident here. Yeah. So the question is, do they have any assets in Ontario? Do they have anything that needs to be dealt with? We don't do a test based on citizenship. We do it on residency. So if you're residing in Ontario and you had some assets in Ontario, somebody needs to apply on that person's behalf to be appointed to be the executor. And if it's relatively straightforward, the courts are pretty permissive in that. They would allow somebody to be appointed to be his executor, and then they can do whatever it is that needs to be done. Gather in the bank account assets, pay off the debts, tidy him up, so to speak, and take care of things. So the fact that he moved here from a different country, from Iceland, that's not an issue at all.
Okay. Thank you for answering my question.
More than welcome. I'm happy to do it for you.
Well, Andrew, we do thank you for joining us here with the Paul Culver Sparky Johnson Seniors Program. It's always a pleasure to have new information and get our questions answered. Holy jumping. So I do thank you very much. Feel free to stay on. Shri is going to be doing some yoga and mindfulness, and then we're going to have a little bit of entertainment. No, don't worry, everybody. It's not me singing. Okay, you're fine.
I'm going to take off for a little while. I will talk to you later on.
Well, thank you very
guys.
much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Andrew. Have a good day.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, well, that was interesting. I'm not even going to try to speak right now, Shri. I probably need some mindfulness and some yoga so I can get back grounded. So if you want to introduce yourself and let everybody know what you're going to be sharing with us today, that'd be fantastic. Oh, can't hear you. Can you? Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm loud and clear. So it's great to be back here. I've been to the conversation few times, and I have been to the conversation in person. I'm not sure how many of you were there to see me in person in one of my conference sessions, but it's great to be here. Once again, Carrie-Ann, thank you for inviting me. And I'm not sure if everyone can hear me well. If you can't hear me, there's a nice little reactions button, or you can just type it there so I will know for sure. So every time I give a yoga class, it's mostly about the yoga poses, about what makes you feel good. Probably it's a chair yoga, or probably it's one of those movements, a breathing technique or anything. So what we do is I mostly teach people how to open up their body, how to open up their joints, how to open up their muscles and their entire body from top to bottom. But today we'll do something different. Today I'm going to mix it up a little. We're going to open up our minds and hearts. So how's that for a change? So minds and hearts, the reason why I say this is, today everywhere you look around, there's a short supply of kindness. There's a short supply of compassion. This is something which we really, really need. So more than the physical part of the yoga, we need more of compassion into us. So I was thinking, what should I talk to all the session today? Then I thought, I remembered a very interesting story. Now it's not a story, has a fable. It's a real incident which happened several years ago. It was so interesting, I thought I would share it with you. So it goes something like this. Has anyone been to the Golden Gate Bridge? If you have, just give me a sign of some form so that I know who has been to the Golden Gate Bridge. Oh, wonderful. Micheline has gone to the Golden Gate Bridge. Well, I haven't. I heard so much about it. So this particular incident happens in September 25th, 2000. So what it is, Golden Gate Bridge, if the people who have been there, they'll tell you that it's a very beautiful place, especially in the morning. The sun is rising, the sunshine, it's casting its golden hue all over the harbor. It's a beautiful, spectacular place to be and see in the mornings especially. On this particular morning, one 19-year-old young man, his name is Kevin Hines. He's standing at the Golden Gate Bridge. I'm just going to bring my camera a little so that you can see my gestures. Wonderful. So he's standing at the Golden Gate Bridge, but one difference is, unlike all other people, he's not there to admire the beauty of the bridge. He has made this tragic decision. He has come to this state in life where he has decided to end his life. He has come to the bridge to jump off. There are few people who survived this jump, and you know what they tell you is this. It's a 220 feet drop all the way from the top to the water, and the water is like concrete at that height, and a person or any object which jumps, it comes down at 100 kilometers per hour. And when it hits the water, it's like hitting a solid concrete block. Your body splinters like twigs, and the body bursts open like a water balloon. That's terrible. Unfortunately, Kevin Hines had made a terrible decision. He climbs that bridge to jump. He's hanging onto the rails. He's deciding to jump. At the last minute, he pushes himself forward. Unfortunately, he has a change of mind. He decides, you know what? I want to live. I don't want to die today. I want to live. He thinks of all the people who are with him, who are thinking of him, people who love him. He wants to live. But unfortunately, he's already jumped. So what do you do now? He decides in the last minute, he maneuvers himself to jump straight into the water so that his feet hits first. Apparently, that saves his life. So Kevin Hines becomes one of the few people to survive. So today, Kevin is a director of a nonprofit organization. He helps people, he helps young people not to take their own lives. He recounts his story of how a human being can be more than what they are if only they can save themselves. But in that entire story, there's one particular aspect that got me it was very curious. I remember that very clearly in his interview. So what he says is this. In his decision to travel to the Golden Gate Bridge on that fateful morning, he has to change a subway, he has to take 2 buses. All the while in the bus, he's hoping, he says to himself, even if one person looks at me, even if one person smiles at me, you know what? I'll stop this. I'll just turn and go back home. So in that entire 2-hour journey to Golden Gate Bridge, unfortunately, not one single person gave him that milk of kindness. People were busy in their own lives. They were looking at their phones. They were looking at whatever. They're busy in their own lives. They could not even give him a little glance. So that was what I took from that interview. So come to think of it, if one person along the way, if they just looked at him, if they smiled at him, that could have saved his life, or it could have changed his decision not to go into there. So the reason why I'm saying this is, your smile is very powerful. Your connection to another human being is so powerful, it can change people's minds. People can take a decision based on just your look, just your connection with another human being. Even you don't even have to say a word. It's what you feel inside. The compassion which you feel inside can be felt by another human being. I believe that we are all in a connected universe. We may seem like separate beings, but we are all connected to each other in some way. So if you could just find a way to look at each other and bring compassion into us, our job will be done 50%. So the reason why I'm saying this is, today, everywhere look, there's so much fear. There is violence happening. We are all trying to grapple with it. We are all trying to understand, why is this happening? What can I do about this? Is there anything I can even do about this? So as a yoga teacher, my job is, when I talk to my students, when I work with my students, I try to find ways to bring compassionate out of them. For me, it's not about teaching yoga poses. There are hundreds of people who will teach you different poses. You can always look at a YouTube video. But the connection which I make with my students is what that changes their life. So this is the reason I'm building this connection with each and every one of you, to let you know that if there's anything you need, if you're stuck in a hard place, there's always help that's available to you. You just have to look around. You just have to connect with people. Now, compassion is a very powerful word, but it's very difficult to follow. We know that it works. Great beings and great, wonderful people in the past have shown that compassion is a very powerful tool to bring about change. Whether it's the Christ, or whether it's Buddha, or in our recent times, contemporaries such as Dr. King, Mahatma Gandhi, all these individuals have shown that non-violence, without picking up a weapon, without doing any violent act, you can bring a compassion in people and bring about great changes in the society. So they are examples to us. We don't have to look too far back into the future. Now, easier said than done. How do we bring compassion into us? How do we draw into that repository of compassion? So this is the biggest problem. So a lot of people ask me, it's fine, well, compassion is a good thing, but question is, I cannot bring myself to have compassion. How do I do that? So today, what I'm here to share you is, I've told you a story, and I'm going to share you a little technique, how to bring about compassion in you. And I know that it works because I've been practicing this for several years, and I've seen the changes it has brought in me. I find that I've become a different person. I find that I've become more compassionate. I become more forgiving of people, more understanding of people, because I've been practicing this technique. And this technique is called, probably you've heard of it, probably some of you already practice it. I remember Micheline telling me that she does something of this nature occasionally. So this technique is taught at several places, in schools, many hospitals too. So it's called the LKM. So does anyone know what LKM stands for? Loving kindness meditation. So you can do this at any place, any quiet place. You can just go sit there and do this technique. You don't have to say it out loud. You can just sit there and bring yourself into bringing compassion and kindness into you. Now you can do this at any time of the day. All you need is 5 to 10 minutes. Anytime you feel stressed, anytime you feel yourself losing your emotions, you can always do this. So the way it works is very simple. First, I'll request all of you to just sit up straight or comfortably, whatever works for you. So we'll just go through this technique. First, we'll do something called a gentle breathing. It's called a 4-7-8 meditation. Sorry, 4-7-8 breathing. That's the name of this technique. So what it means is that we will inhale to the count of 4. Then we'll hold our breath for a count of 7. And we'll exhale all our breath for a count of 8 from the mouth, not from the nose, from the mouth. So 4, inhale count of 4 and holding it for a count of 7 and exhale gently and slowly from your mouth for a count of 8. So if you're ready, sit up straight, gently relax, take a deep breath, exhale, relax your shoulders, close your eyes so that you can feel the breath. When you're ready, gently inhale to a count of 4. Hold for a count of 7 and exhale through the mouth for a count of 8. So we'll do one more of the inhale, exhale, the same way, 4-7-8. When you're ready, inhale slowly to a count of 4. Hold for a count of 7 and exhale to the mouth for a count of 8. Perfect. So now you're done. So now you're ready for this LK meditation. Now you're in a place where this meditation will work for you. So the first step is, there are 3 steps to this meditation. Step 1 would be you. Step 2, outside you. Step 3 will expand our love and kindness to everyone. Step 1 starts by, you can just go ahead and close your eyes. Step 1, bring a smiling image of yourself into your mind. Gently say to yourself, may I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I live with ease. Once more, feel your smile expanding, brightening up your face, relaxing completely. We'll repeat the same with a deeper intention. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I live with ease. Now, in your own mind, please repeat to yourself. Now we'll move to step 2. This time, bring the image of a person or a family friend or a family member or anyone who you deeply care. Once again, bring the image of a person, a family member or a friend who you deeply care. So we'll send love and kindness their way by repeating, may you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. Feel that person smiling. Feel that person getting better. Feel that person opening up to you. This time we'll repeat again. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. Feel that person relaxing even more. Feel the love and compassion you are sending it to that person. In your own, repeat it in your own mind. Now, step 3, the most important, we'll expand our circle of love and compassion to everyone else. We'll include everyone, the entire world, into our circle of compassion. Feel your circle of compassion grow. Now, this time, we will include everyone, friends, strangers, people halfway across the world. People are struggling to get here. People are experiencing difficulties in this life. Let's send love their way. May all be happy. May all be healthy. May all be safe. May all live with ease. Once again, may all be happy. May all be healthy. May all be safe. May all live with ease. This time, repeat this phrase inside you, silently. So once more, gently relax, slowly bring back your focus back to the breath, and slowly open your eyes. So welcome back. So we have covered the entire world. We have come back to our little session. So this is the LCAM meditation. So please feel free to practice as and when you want. Anytime you feel troubled, anytime you feel fearful, anytime you feel something unkind happening, don't hesitate to just sit quietly anywhere at your choosing and gently recall these three intentions. First intention is for yourself, because you have to feel safe. You have to feel good. Once that's done, expand your circle of compassion to the people you know. Then expand your circle of compassion to everyone in the world. So once this is done, you'll feel a change in yourself. And if you do this just for 10 days, try doing this for 10 days and see how you feel. You'll see this in the way you interact with people. So once again, this is for today. This is from my side. Any questions? I'd be happy to take any questions about this technique or anything. Please feel free to let me know.
Shri, I just had a question. This sounds very similar to the teachings of Goenka.
Yeah.
That's what it is, because I do Vipassana meditation and a lot of the, like, may all beings be happy, may all beings be.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was wondering. It sounded very familiar.
Right.
And it does, I can attest to that. I practice that as well. It definitely helps just sort of focusing for the moment on the compassion and the gratitude. It can help
Right.
change things for you. It's kind of magical, really, once you can just get your head wrapped around that.
It's very true. Compassion can do so many things which many things cannot. That's what I found out. In a world where people are becoming divisive, where people are drifting apart, the few things can bring people together. And I believe compassion, kindness, what we can do with each other. Perfect.
Yeah,
Any other questions? Anybody else has any questions?
Does anybody else have any questions? Okay, well, that
Okay.
was wonderful. Thank you. I really enjoyed that, and thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
I like stories. And we're gonna move on. You're welcome to stay. We're gonna have a little entertainment. Namaste.
Thank you. I have to pick up my child, so he's at school. So I'll make a
okey-dokey.
leave. Once again, thank you so
Well,
much. I
we
look
do
forward to.
appreciate, yeah, we do appreciate your time. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye for now.
Bye. Okay, well, now that everybody's zenned out, we're gonna get y'all rocking. We have, let me get rid of this chat here. We have some special entertainment today, some music. So now that you're all nice and relaxed, you just need to sort of sit back and listen and enjoy. I did want to go over, well, first of all, I wanted to say thank you to the speakers, even though they're gone, for taking the time to visit. You can visit our website at www.carrionfan.org. Click on the seniors program tab to learn more about our speakers and their organizations. And feel free to email if you have any questions. I do believe also that Carry On is recording all the sessions, and next week we will be, oh, did I say that right? www.carrionfan.org. Thank you, Carry On. And next week we'll be at Parkland, but for now, are you ready? My special guest entertainment is almost here, so all you have to do is sit back and listen.
Hey, everybody. I hope we're all having a good day. I'm going to sing a couple of songs, and I hope you enjoy. Yeah. Can you guys hear?
Yes, we can hear you well.
You can hear well?
Yes.
I guess I'll open up with maybe Stand By Me. When the night has come, land is dark, and the moon is the only light to see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I'll shed a tear. There's long to stand by me. If the sky that we look upon, oh, crumble and fall, over mountain, crumble to the sea. I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear. Stand as long as you stand by me. Darling, 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 stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now by me. Yeah. If the sky that we look upon, oh, trouble and fall, oh, the mountain crumble to the sea. Darling, 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 will stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm gonna do another one. It's by Chris Stapleton. It's called Tennessee Whiskey. I used to spend my night in the ballroom, There was the old only love known. But you rescued me from reaching for the bottle and brought me back from being too far gone. You're as smooth Tennessee whiskey and sweet strawberry wine. You're as warm glass of brandy, and I stay strong on your love all the time. Look for love in all the same old places. From the bottom of the bottle's always dry. But when you pulled out your heart, then wasted. Because it's nothing like your love to get me high. You're as smooth Tennessee whiskey and sweet strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy, and I stay stoned on your love all the time. Senor and smooth Tennessee whiskey and sweet strawberry wine. You're as warm some glass of brandy, and I stay stoned on your love all the time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All righty, what are we doing next here? What are we doing next? I didn't get all the chords.
Doug,
Yes.
for some reason, we're not hearing the guitar as loud. We can hear you quite.
It's because of the ice cream containers have a lot of feedback. I'm just playing a little acoustic. Should I just go closer?
Okay. You sound great though.
I'll put it up so the microphone.
I wonder if I change position. Yeah, I'm gonna try over here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Reverend Michelin, do you actually have a tambourine?
I know, right? Can you hear the guitar better now?
Yes. Thank you.
Perfect. I'll sing a little bit quieter, I think, too. I know you loved him. long time ago. Yeah, but, okay. It's all right. The pink gallery's distracted me. Now I gotta switch the whole thing up. Over the horizon, smooth sailing, oh yeah. Now she's headed deep down the boulevard. Like a way, sailing ship down. Let me be your cargo. Don't say it down, honey, yeah. Smooth sailing, yeah. Smooth, darling. I don't know where she's going. All I know is I'm gonna be your passenger. Sugar, let me be your passenger. Said I like a way, setting ship down. Let me be your cargo. Don't set it down. But honey, I'm smooth sailing, yeah. Smooth, darling. Sweet pretty baby, won't you be my lady now? Sweetheart, darling, don't you know? Go, you know you, yeah, like a rain, set your ship down. Let me be your cargo, don't set it down. Now, honey, I'm smooth sailing, yeah. Smooth, darling. Thank you, thank you, thank you. One more? One more, you guys, how we doing over there? No feedback. Uh, Mama told me when I was young, sit beside me, my only son. Listen closely to what I say. If you do this, it will help you some sunny day. All right. Get your lost for the rich man's gold. All that you need right here and now. Sing your soul. You can do this, oh baby, if you try. That I want from you, my son, is to be satisfied. and be a simple kind of man. Be something love and understand. Be a simple kind of man. Won't you do this for me, son, if you can? Be a simple kind of man. Be something you love and understand. Be a simple kind of man. Won't you do this for me, son, if you can? Won't you do this for me, son, if you can?
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day and has a great weekend.
Thank you
Bring
so
me on
much. You were
back.
great. You were great. Thank you so much. Appreciate
No
it.
problem.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, there we go, there we go. Now I'm gonna sing, kidding. No, I'm not gonna sing. So, thank you very much, Douglas, for that musical interlude. So we are going to get to, last week we attempted to our trivia. And we ran out of time. So let's get our pens and papers out. And we're gonna do some trivia. It's music and pop culture this week. And what I want you to do is just write down the answers on your paper. There's going to be 20 questions. So just put 1 to 20 on your page there, and you can write down the answer. And then when we're done, I'll give you the answers because I know the answers because I'm up. And so whenever you're ready, just give me a little emoji, or there's a thing down here that says reactions, and you can give me a little thumbs up whenever you're ready. See my thumbs up there? And I will get started. Again, we're doing trivia, and it's music and pop culture. There are 20 questions. Ready? Thank you. Okay, I have one person ready. 2 people ready. Okay. 3 people ready? We're waiting for 2 more people. Carry on. One of those people is you. Are you ready? Okay, so music and pop culture. I'm going to say the question. I don't want you to answer it online. I want you just to write it down. The first question: which famous song sung by Doris Day was introduced in the 1956 Hitchcock thriller, The Man Who Knew Too Much? I remember Doris Day, by the way. Yes, so which famous song sung by Doris Day was introduced in the 1956 Hitchcock thriller, The Man Who Knew Too Much? Number 2. What singer had a hit with 16 tons in 1955? So the name of the song was 16 tons. I do believe, I'm going to give you a hint, I do believe it was a country singer. Sorry, 1955. Oops. Number 3. Which group had a hit with Twilight Time in 1958? Number 4, which smoky voiced singer sang Too Young in 1951, and he has three names. Oh, I told you it's a he. Very famous singer with a very smoky, raspy voice. Some of you may know some of these, some may not. Number 5, what Cleveland disc jockey first used the term rock and roll in 1951? So he was a disc jockey. Remember back in the day when they had disc jockeys on the radio? Okay, I'm sure you're going to get this one. Tony and Maria were the lead characters in which Broadway musical that premiered in 1957? I gave you a little hint because I said Tony and Maria. There's my singing. Okay, come on, you know this one. Number 7. Who recorded Rock Around the Clock in 1955? It was a gentleman and his band that had something to do with the solar system. I just gave you another hint. Who recorded Rock Around the Clock in 1955? Okay, number 8. Who originally sang That'll Be the Day in 1957? This is also a gentleman and the band. So the saying was That'll Be the Day. That'll be the day. Number 9. The Coasters recorded a song in 1959 with the line, "You're gonna need an ocean of calamine lotion." What was the name of the song? And it kind of goes like this. Do 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 do. That's the tone, kind of, sort of. That was number 8. The Coasters recorded a song in that was number 9, in 1959 with the line, "You're going to need an ocean of calamine lotion." Number 10, BJ Thomas sang "I Can't Help It If I'm Still in Love with You" in 1967. Who first recorded it in 1951? And this gentleman has a son with the same name, also country singer. Who first recorded the song, "I Can't Help It If I'm Still in Love with You"? Number 11, which aspiring rock and roll singer appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show in 1956, but could only be shown from the waist up? Everybody knows this one. Which rock and roll singer appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show in 1956, but could only be shown from the waist up? Number 12, which rising young star from the movie Rebel Without a Cause died in an automobile accident in 1955? He was a heartthrob for many ladies and died very young. He was a rising star. He was in the movie Rebel Without a Cause, and he died in an automobile accident. Okay, number 13. Which television game show first aired in 1956 and is still running today? I was going to do the theme, but I think that's to a different show. Lots of people like to go to, I guess, Hollywood or wherever they tape it to try and get on the show. Television game show first aired in 1956 and it's actually still running today. They've had many different hosts. Number 14. What famous baseball player married Marilyn Monroe in 1954? They didn't stay married, but he married her in 1954. Number 15. What piece of women's clothing named after a dog became popular in the 1950s? It's a piece of women's clothing. It was named after a dog and it became popular in the 1950s. This one, I don't know this teen idol. What teen idol sang Kooky Kooky, lend me your comb? There's a hint, the name, part of the name is Kooky. If anybody knows this one, this is a really weird one. What teen idol sang Kooky Kooky, lend me your comb? That'll be interesting if anybody gets that. Number 17, what type of hat did both Davy Crockett and Daniel Boone wear on TV in the 1950s? What type of hat was it? I didn't know this one either. Number 18. Eating what type of live fish became popular in the 1950s? Really? In the 1950s? What type of fish were people eating? It's a little one. I guess it can be bigger too, and it's mostly in ponds, but okay, number 19. What famous cowboy of the 1950s was really named Leonard Sly? I'll give you a hint. His name, his first name and his last name begin with R. He's a famous cowboy in the 1950s, but his real name was Leonard Sly. And number 20, what was the name of the circular plastic 1950s toy that was placed around your waist and operated by gyrating your hips? Which some people can do, and some people it's a little bit of a gong show. Okay, does anybody need me to read any of the questions again? If you do, put up your hand, or in the chat, put which question. Okie dokie, if everybody's okay with the question. Number 1, and you can type in the answer and then I'll let you know who's right. Which famous song sung by Doris Day was introduced in the 1956 Hitchcock thriller, The Man Who Knew Too Much? Go. Type it in. Anyone? Do, 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 do. Hold on, maybe I'm not at the top, no. Anyone know number 1? Do I have to go to the top? Okay, no, I have to go to the bottom. Yes! Who said that? Que sera, sera is the correct answer. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. Good job. Give yourself 1 point if you got that one. Number 2. I've heard of the singer, but not this song. What singer had a hit with 16 Tons in 1955? If anybody knows, type it in. No, not Johnny Cash. He has 3 names actually. Well, his name is Ford. It's Tennessee Ernie Ford. I've heard of him, but I haven't heard of that song. Good guess though with Johnny Cash. Which group had a hit with Twilight Time in 1958? They were a pretty popular group. I've heard of them. Anybody? The correct answer is the Platters. Now I know that the answer to this one, his daughter also sang. So number 4, which smoky voice singer sang Too Young in 1951? I think his daughter is a singer as well. Nope, not Kenny Rogers. He had a really smoky voice. His first name is Nat. His second name is King. And his third name is Cole. Nat King Cole. How are we doing out there? Number 5, what Cleveland disc jockey? What Cleveland disc jockey first used the term rock and roll in 1951? I don't know if anybody will get this, so I'll just tell you. His name was Alan Freed. I've never heard of him. Now that, okay, everybody get on your keyboards there. How do you solve a problem like Maria? Okay, what was the Broadway musical that premiered in 1957? Hit it. How do you solve a problem like Maria? Tony and Maria were the lead characters. Oh, nobody knows this one. Come on. Anyone? West Side Story. Yes, good job. West Side Story. Okay. How about number 7? Good job. Somebody's getting some good answers there. Who recorded Rock Around the Clock in 1955? There was a gentleman and the Comets. I'll give you a hint. Rock Around the Clock was recorded by, that's okay, Sarah, that's okay. I didn't know some of the answers either. Rock Around the Clock was recorded by Bill Haley and the Comets. Don't worry, next week's going to be different trivia. I'll give you a hint what it's going to be so you can study. Who originally sang That'll Be the Day in 1957? That'll be the day, da, da, da. It's Buddy Holly and the Crickets. Number 9, how we doing out there? I know you're enjoying the trivia. It doesn't matter if you don't know the answers. Maybe you can make it up. The Coasters recorded a song in 1959 with the line, "You're gonna need an ocean of calamine lotion." What was the name of the song? No, not Beach Blanket. That would be, it was called, so it's had something to do with an itch. Poison ivy, poison ivy. That was the song. It was called Poison Ivy. Okay. Now this one, there's a senior and a junior. If this helps, he's a country star. BJ Thomas sang "I Can't Help If I'm Still in Love with You," but who first recorded it? So this gentleman is a country singer for those who like country, and there's a senior and a junior. Anyone? It was Hank Williams Sr. Okay, come on, I have faith in this. Number 11. Which aspiring rock and roll singer appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show in 1956? Yes, somebody already put it in there. But could only be shown from the waist up. That was, of course, Elvis Presley. Number 12. Which rising young star from the movie Rebel Without a Cause? Oh, okay. She's just quick to the buzzer. You must have a buzzer right by your hand there. That's right. But died in an accident in 1955, and that was James Dean. Okay, see, we're getting some. Now, how about this one? Number 13 is which television game show first aired in 1956 and is still running today? Oh, good job. The Price is Right. Oh, you got that one too. The Price is Right. See, they're getting easier. Come on, pipe in. Number 14. Which famous baseball player married Marilyn Monroe in 1954? Yes, Joe DiMaggio. Okay. See, they're getting easier. What piece of women's clothing named after a dog became popular in the 1950s? Okay, poodle skirt, that's right. Did anybody have a poodle skirt? Give me a thumbs up if you did. I think, you know what goes around comes around. I've had bell bottoms. I still have bell bottoms, but does anybody have a poodle skirt? Okay, this one, I don't know if anybody's gonna get because I don't even know what it is. Oh, for costume only? Well, costumes is good. Well, for costume only, they should be for every day. What teen idol sang Kooky Kooky, lend me your comb? That was Ed Kooky Burns. I've never heard of that person. Okay. What type of hat did Daniel Boone and Davy Crockett wear on TV in the 1950s? What type of animal hat did they wear in the 1950s? Yes, that's correct. A raccoon hat. I remember they had the little tail at the back there. Okay. I don't even know where this question came from. Number 18, eating what type of live fish became popular in the 1950s? What the heck were people doing in the 1950s? They're eating live fish. No, not herring.
Oh.
A live herring. How did you know? Oh, no, it's actually a goldfish. I don't think I'd eat anything live. I don't even like, what's that stuff you eat and it's not cooked? Sushi. The answer is actually goldfish, but a herring is a fish. So good guess. Okay, what famous cowboy in the 1950s was really named Leonard Sly? And I gave you a hint. No, it's not. I gave you a hint. It was eaten whole and swallowed. Ew. Well, I guess, okay, whatever, if that's what you like, okay. But anyways, let's get back to what the famous cowboy. I gave you, his letters were RR. First name started with R, second name started with R. He was country, I believe. Ronald Reagan is not exactly. No, it's a country singer. He's a famous cowboy. It's, yes, good job, Roy Rogers. Well done. Okay, what was the name of the circular plastic 1950s toy that was placed around the waist and operated by gyrating the hips? Give it to me. Yes, a hula hoop. Okay, count up your answers, even if you got one right or two. I don't know how well I would have done. I kind of like actually giving the trivia rather than guessing it because I'm that person that doesn't really get a lot right. So you wouldn't want me on your team for trivia. However, you might want me on your team for Pictionary. Okay, well, we are almost wrapping up here. Oh, we did really well. I'd like to thank the speakers again that come and join us. I'd like to thank Carrie and Fenn for organizing and helping put together all the background scenes, the stuff that happened in the back. Score 11. Wow, good for you. 11 out of 20. How did everybody else do? I'm glad you enjoyed that. I will be doing trivia. But next week you get to see me live and in person. So I'm gonna go shopping for my bell bottoms. I'm kidding, I only have bell bottoms. I'd like to again thank the Carrie and Fenn Foundation, and we'd like to thank our speakers, and I'd like to thank all of you for joining us today. We want next week we are actually at Parkland, which is in Ajax, and that is 3 Rosalind Road. I don't know, Carrie Ann, can you type the address in the chat box over here on the side? And I guess an email will go out to tell you how to get there. Yeah. And that's about all we have for today. Next week, we have a couple more speakers. We have trivia. We get to see each other in person. I'm not very tall. I think I'm shrinking, but that's okay. Thank you, week 3. Oh, sorry. There also is an option, thanks, Karen, that you can do the program still online, or you can come join us in person at Parkland Ajax, 3 Rosalind Road West, Ajax, Ontario. So you can learn more about our program for this month and other programs that are available. for anyone wanting to join, again, at www.carryonfen.org. We look forward to seeing you next week. Take care, keep safe, and remember, together we are stronger. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.